Hello, fellow reefers. Welcome back to Craft Aquatic. I'm Matt G. Today we are heading back to the best one-day Frag Fest in the Northeast, the Frag Farmers Market in Storrs, Connecticut. We'll be heading in to find some of the best pieces at the show this year from a handful of vendors. Some cases I'll ask what their favorite piece is, but often vendors are busy selling at the show, so I'll go ahead and pick out my favorite coral colony or frag. So let's head right in and find some awesome coral.
What we do here is go back.
I'm going to start with this beautiful pink-orange acanthophilia brought by Pop Corals. I did ask the vendor what his favorite coral was, and he couldn't decide. Fair enough. There are going to be a bunch of vendors who feel the same way, so I'll go ahead and help them out. All the coral in the intro also belong to Pop Corals. They always bring really nice stuff. I wanted to feature Marine Science Magna High School's display since I know they always bring an extremely high-quality, healthy collection of common and not-so-common coral frags. I like that their pieces are big and chunky, and especially that all the sales go right back into supporting their aquaculture program. Well done as always. That said, this show is the brainchild of John Swanson, who is a teacher at E.O. Smith High School, where we are now and where the show is hosted every year. I'll link to 3 additional videos about the Frag Farmers Market in the description below if you are interested in learning more. My favorite Marine Science Magna colony was definitely this grouping of bouncy Rhodactis mushrooms. I love the vibe of backwoods reefs, and they always bring some sweet coral, like this classic orange crush acan looking colony and these almost too bright to film bubble tips. Joe and his son at 2C Corals will never disappoint you at this show. My pick and one of theirs are these Godzilla bounce mushrooms. They explain that the lineage is really important if you're looking for that bouncy, vesically look, and especially the size. Of course, they had a ton of other nice pieces of Rhodactis, Yuma, and big surprise, SPS too. I did not catch the name of this vendor. Please post in the comments if you have it or if it's you. Anyway, they came with a collection of macroalgae themed nano reefs that they had out for sale, like this one. It's a nice option for folks at the show who want to dip their toe in keeping a saltwater system. Hey, Covey's Coral Cove, how you doing? One of their favorites seemed to be this pink-orange Anacropora, a nice thin branch, fast-growing species that I really like too. I'm actually growing some of those out in my system as well. Honestly, I really liked all their stuff, so here's a bunch more. Those anacros were sweet, but my pick out of Covey's pieces is this giant, bright red carpet anemone. I can totally imagine dedicating an entire system to this beauty. Yes, the show is named Frag Farmers Market, but you can get much more than just frags at this blue-lit bazaar. This vendor came with a selection of adorable, mostly common, affordable saltwater fish. And here we are at the JB Aquatics booth. I always like their Gargonia-shaped company logo, very classy. For me, my favorite, granted very common, piece was this peach-colored Sophastria. I feel it simply is one of those underrated varieties of coral that can just do so much, especially in crust over anything, even cyanobacteria and hair algae. I'm doing a little camera pan here to show you how packed the JB Aquatics frag tanks are, just like so many other tanks at the show. I mean, these are $15 to $30 frags flowing over each of these plugs. I'm telling you, you just can't get deals like this at any other show. I have to say I was so impressed with this mineralogical themed artwork by Reef Like Cat. We really need to encourage these amazing artists by purchasing and displaying their work around our reef systems. Of course, I can't leave the show without asking Jason Fox what his favorite pieces are, and he actually answered me. So he pointed out this homewrecker. I've had really good success with that over the years, and I really love it. He also pointed out this Holy Grail Micromusa, beautiful piece. That said, it is so hard to actually pick a favorite out of this treasure trove that Jason Fox brings. He truly is the master of frags like no other. If you are a fan of this channel, Craft Aquatic, and you have watched our many other videos, you will know how much we love OSA, Ocean State Aquatics. A link to an OSA store tour below. I guarantee it is worth a watch, especially if you are in the Rhode Island area and you want to see what OSA is all about. That said, my favorite piece this year was this purple and green platygyra. Honestly, don't know why I didn't just grab this while I was there, but that's how it goes. Alright, for this next one, I'm just going to play some of the production audio. Dr. Art Aquatics. And
Rhode Island.
This is a piece that I'm going to buy here. First piece I'm buying today.
Red Connie.
That was, yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
$30.
And then we'll show it in my tank.
Green Godzilla. You had
playing some of this behind the scenes audio because you get a vibe of how everyone is talking reef and picking each other's brains. It's very chill. Apologies to anyone that didn't want to be included in this video.
You're not going to see it shrunk a little bit.
Frag Farm had this really neat starfish display. I like setups like this because it is something that kids can easily relate to. Maybe one idea for next year is for a vendor that specializes in reef-related children's books, giving that one out for free because there is nothing better than teaching your kids the importance of the reefing hobby and reading. We're going to stop down and take a bit of a moment to show you the reefing scene at E.O. Smith. Here is one of the systems that the high schoolers manage and maintain. It's a nice kind of old school reef tank with a mixture of LPS, SPS, and softies. Looks like they're doing a fine job maintaining the system, judging by all the coral frags sitting up in those racks. Of course, the mangroves are looking amazing too. They always do. This greenhouse is such a cool thing for a high school to have, and they take full advantage of the additional sunlight, growing out not only the mangroves, but a variety of leathers, Ephilia, and Gorgonia in these lowboy frag systems. This one right here.
So we call that our showstopper.
Okay.
That's 500.
What kind of coral is it though?
Speciosa.
Speciosa, okay.
Yeah.
And what about this one?
That is the Blueberry Fantasy Reef
Oh,
Gem.
yeah.
So Tyree, they call it Tyree Wow Factor.
And this is the same as,
Yes.
okay. And then last one is,
That's a Walt Disney.
that's Walt Disney,
Yeah.
okay. It's a really nice Walt Disney.
Yeah, look at it. Look at this. I've been sitting here staring at it.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Really is a nice Walt D tenuous with the colors you expect out of that particular coral. So here we are, full circle back to the DeMoss setup. We did a FFM setup video a few years back that I will link to, featuring this vendor and his setup methodology. It was very informative. If you are ever thinking about attending and setting up at one of these shows, you really should watch it. Getting back to vendor favorites, my favorite piece of theirs was this Optimus Prime Acropora. Might have something to do with the fact that I never got that Optimus Prime that I always wanted as a 12-year-old, but seriously, really nice piece. Sea Gardens brought a tank full of nice chunky frags this year, but my favorite was this classic watermelon chalice. This particular variety of chalice has been in the hobby for well over 25 years and has never lost its status as one of those pieces that nearly every reefer would love to have in their system, myself included. Trig Reef Corals has this nice deep lagoon style setup that is so satisfying to peer down into. Lots of old school pieces in here too. Just a pleasant overall setup to enjoy. As far as my favorite coral and Trig Reef setup, it's going to be this common textured mushroom coral colony. No introduction needed for this reefing icon. We all know who Dan is, and he seems to always bring a piece or two that catches my eye. Sorry to be repetitive, but I'm just loving the classic chalice coral today, including these two. I'm going to go ahead and walk around Rose's Reef here and show you a few standout pieces. Some of these larger single polyp species take real dedication to keep and bring to a show like this, since they are really one-offs and not easily fragged. It's also why they tend to demand a higher premium.
coral crews, they sell them, but if you look at them, they look nothing like it.
Yeah.
They have pretty good color, but they're more of a, they look more like a banana grail, where they're shorter, stubbier nose. So.
Turbo Oceans had this really cool macro algae setup where it essentially spins the Dragon's Breath and Orange Galaxy algae around. Very healthy, happy macro, most likely due to the system being very efficient at delivering light and nutrients to these cycling pieces. Frost Corals sits at the end of a long hallway at the show, and they typically bring at least 5 to 7 individual lowboys filled with frags, LPS, leathers, NPS, and NEMs. So I'm gonna walk around and show you some of the variety of stuff they have. My pick for them would be the yellow leather coral towards the end. I don't hang out in the coral that I picked along, so it is right here. Here is another vendor who is tapping into their creative side. I believe the name is Freshly Salted with a hyphen between the two words. Just a bunch of well-executed photorealistic stickers and posters with descriptions of the animals. I can imagine a bunch of uses for a product like this, and did overhear the vendor discussing how their merchandise is available in a variety of retail locations. Very cool. Here's something that you don't see every day at this show, an empty table. You just don't see empty tables because these tables have a waiting list. And Roaming Reefers, we're sorry you couldn't make it. We hope to see you next time. All right, yes, another chalice, this one being a rainbow or jelly bean chalice, brought here today by Daniel Connor. He's always bringing amazing pieces. I was tempted to purchase, but I have one at home already. I'm nursing back, so instead opted to buy what looks like a blue, but is actually a pink Sinularia when illuminated under a whiter spectrum, which it will be in my macro tank. Getting towards the end here and kind of saving one of the best, in my opinion, for last. Wet Pets always brings the heat, and this year was no exception. Check out this blue, purple, and orange Scully. Emphasis on the blue. I just love this piece, and if I had the proper setup, might have actually paid the high price they were asking for it. There are other nice Scullies in here too, but Wet Pet's favorite was this one that sort of has a similar coloration to a jawbreaker mushroom. Couldn't go wrong with either. I did not leave Wet Pets empty-handed. I ended up purchasing one of these speckled Bauer Banky coral. I think it's going to be nice. Pristine Marine had one of the best rock flower nem setups at the show. The pastels intertwined with the splashes of orange, pink, purple, and red were a real eye-catcher. Doghouse Corals had one of the funniest names, but definitely one of the worst signs. Hopefully they will have something better next year to match the beautiful coral they brought. Chalice is the theme here for me this year, and this one was also one of those vendors' favorite pieces. It did have some fancy name, but really just wanted to feature this to show you how amazing these pieces of LPS can get when allowed to grow out. This is a nice one too. This will actually pop off little babies. Capital Corals is based out of Albany, New York, and is 75% research lab, 25% coral farm. They have a really strong program with kids from SUNY Albany. They're working on projects related to coral bleaching, recovery, reproduction, and drug discovery. Basically, they are grinding up coral to see what will make different cells do different things. Also loved all the classic pieces they brought. So that is it for our tour of some of the best pieces at Frag Farmers Market this year. Thought I'd leave you with a bit of footage of the Craft Aquatic 120-gallon mixed reef on my way out. I want to thank all the folks who put the show together every year, the schools that participate, and of course all the amazing vendors at the show. Thank you for watching Craft Aquatic. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and check out the videos linked below, as well as the dozens of other interesting and informative topics that we have posted over the years. Happy reefing, and we'll see you on the next one.